Next on Curate, sharing how art can be the tie that binds.
I just got this feeling, I said, John, you're so nice. I hope you find a love. And that's when he said to me, why couldn't it be you?
Connecting strangers on the street through still photography.
Houston's culture is fascinating to me. Like Main Street in particular is really my most favorite place.
Seeing beauty in unlikely places and sharing it with others.
I stamped everything 100% art so that everybody would know it's just like 100% cotton.
Joking around is serious business for some artists.
We are 5 jokesters, so we always joke around and make stupid things and acrobatic and mess around.
It's all ahead on Curate. Thanks for joining us. I'm Heather Mazzoni.
And I'm JC Kipros. Welcome to Curate, where each week we showcase creativity from Hampton Roads and across America. And this week, when art is simply fun.
John Tobin and his wife Carolyn Flowers of Chesapeake have lived a life together most only dream about. And it was the joy of art that brought these two together.
Making art and having fun. I didn't know what I was going to do, but I knew that by then art was part of my life.
Takes two to tango, two to tango, two to really get the feeling of romance.
I was going back to school after years of being away. John was going back to school after being in the Air Force, and he was a lab assistant for the ceramic stuff. But I saw this work, and I asked the professor, who was this guy? I never heard of John Tobin. But one day, he came in on an off day to do something, and the professor said, hey, Carolyn, that's your guy. And that's how we met. As it turns out, he was my guy.
Took a while.
11 years. Actually, almost 12.
Two to really get the feeling of romance. Let's do the...
Even though all my life I've been playing around with art, I never took it seriously. I never had art in high school. I always felt I was a little step out of the norm for being an art person. But I didn't discover art until a little bit later. I thought I wanted to be a psychiatrist. Once I did discover art, I declared art as a major, even though they try to dissuade you. There's no jobs, there's no money. But once I discovered clay, they moved the clay studio under the stadium at Old Dominion, and I fired the kilns and I mixed the clay. I liked the physically moving the material and making something. That, to me, was what I was supposed to do. I can actually see things in my head. But I don't want to forget them, so I have a sketchbook, and I'm always, writing things down, even a quick something sketch, just so I won't forget it. I always wondered, is this something like musicians, can do, where they, like, Beethoven or somebody, who could see the score already written out before he has to do anything.
Two to really get the feeling of romance. Let's do the tango, do the tango, do the dance of love.
I was having fun, so I became an art teacher. And then for 3 years, I taught in Norfolk.
But I was always interested in people. I did drawings. I always wanted to teach. I got hired right away teaching art, and I just completely immersed myself.
But it takes two to tango.
I realized then that how much I must have cared for her, and thought that, no, it's more than just friendship, and, I don't want you to marry somebody else.
And I just got this feeling, I said, John, you're so nice. I hope you find a love. And that's when he said to me, why couldn't it be you? And I just went, never, I froze. I just froze. I don't know. I think I just ignored it for another year.
You'll see that as a diagonal. Every one of them that has a good design, more ideas, the better, about anything that you're making.
And so we do a lot of that. Bounce them back and forth and build on top of each other's ideas. And it's fun. I think it might be fun to have one of the chickens looking down.
Then we had the chance to join the Department of Defense Dependent Schools system.
I recommended him, and he recommended me on our applications.
That meant leaving America and teaching overseas. I was going to be assigned to Germany, and Carolyn was going to Japan.
We realized that was not good. In order for him to get transferred or me to get transferred together, you had to be married. So we said, well, what the heck? So we did. John came to Tokyo.
Yeah.
We had side-by-side art rooms. The middle room was the kiln supply room, so we could meet in there. And I remember a time or two I was in there and I said, Mr. Tobin, could I see you, please? I was having a really bad day. I need a hug.
I incorporated science into art classes: clay, sand, and water. I mean, you know, play with those kinds of things. It enriches their lives, makes them have a better understanding of like how things move in the real world. But that was really fun. And they're so creative. It made you feel good and fun just looking at the stuff they did. There's a lot of interaction among teachers. In fact, these people have become lifelong friends.
It's nice to think that you've made an impression. And who knows how far it's gone. If you have them, you have them.
A few years ago, our daughter convinced us that we should get on Facebook. As a result of that, which turned out to be really serendipitous, is that we started getting messages from, you know, our former students.
And we both had Cheyenne.
Hello.
Hi, Cheyenne.
Hey, Mr. Tobin and Miss Flowers.
It's been really neat to see what they're doing.
You look exactly the same.
Oh, love. The best part is when they say it's because of us. That's the part that makes all the difference.
Yeah.
Art allowed me the ability to have a wide breadth and a wide understanding of the world.
Recently on the internet, they were asking people, what would you have done differently with your life? And almost without fail, they would have traveled more. And I said, John, we did it right.
Yeah. Traveling was amazing. I continue to make art. I'm making more art now than ever before. I have a space, I have equipment, I have time. I'm not sure, you know, what experience I had in the past might, come creeping back in and inspire me to do something else. But I'm always getting ideas. I could be cutting the grass or doing anything, and I'll see things.
It's a crazy time for me. I've got so many shows come up. I'm just really working a lot of things right now.
We've had a fine life. You know, I have to say it now. It's been a good life all in all. It's been fine to have a chance to hang around this John Denver.
For more on John and Carolyn's works, visit our website, WHRO.org/curate.
When Alonzo Williams Jr. moved from Newport News to Houston, Texas, his career in photography took on a different focus. He celebrates turning strangers into friends and creating art along the way.
I'm a city boy. I love places like New York City and Chicago. What's up, brother? All right, all right. Whenever I end up landing in a different city or state, I want to understand the culture first. I want to understand the vibe. All right, young lady. All right. Houston's culture is fascinating to me. Like, Main Street in particular is really my most favorite place because of the metro rails. People are constantly moving. Bro, you mind if I get a picture of you real quick, man? That's what we're talking about, man. Normal street photographers, they're considered to be the fly on the wall. What's up, bro? They like to be, low key. They don't want people to know that they're taking pictures of them. I wanted to kind of take that extra step and actually approach people and ask them if I can take their picture. Oh man, we'll bring you to Houston. Hey man, behave yourself out there. Yeah. Do you mind if I get a picture of you too? We'll meet you the same spot, 3 o'clock. I'll be out here. Come a little bit closer for me. I've been working on the project for 2 years now. Everyday strangers, the whole concept behind it is meeting people who you never met before, complete strangers, making a connection with them, learning something about them, and taking their picture. On social media, I realized that a lot of people have a lot to tell, they have stories. Likewise. But it's hard for people to kind of let those stories out when they don't have the proper outlets. So what I do is I offer that outlet to them by approaching them first, asking them questions. Both artists? Yeah. What kind of art you do?
I do like paintings.
Ah, nice. I met this guy. His name is C's. C's is an amazing artist. Was saying that one of the main things that people told me was a waste of time was art. And he said, well, that was just fuel to the fire. Something as simple as that, like, hit me hard, because it was a lot of moments when people told me, like, you wasted your time. Are you making money off this? If you're not making money, you're wasting your time. And it's kind of like, but I love doing this. This is like something I'm passionate about. Since I've started the project, I probably have a total of maybe 300 plus stories and between 500 to 600 photographs of just random strangers. Everyone to have somebody to talk to every once in a while. And I think that helps us get through the day, you know? Like, we have all these thoughts rambling, we overthink them, but when we have that right person to talk to, it's like, you get like this release, you know? I love coffee shops, you know. To me, that's like the best place to unwind, and that's normally where I go upload my photos at. And I'm not really much of a book reader. I love books, but I'm very, you know, particular about them. I always see people as those books, you know. Houston is a very diverse city. One of the main things that I'm trying to project with Everyday Strangers is to reveal our similarities, but then the beautiful part of our differences as well.
I'm the tallest man in Texas.
Take a look, man. Can I get you out here? Can I take a picture of you out here? I don't think having differences are bad. I think that's actually a good thing. To be unique is great.
I'm a cartoonist.
But knowing that we're all unique is even greater. Brody, you've been all over the place, man.
I used to have a club on 6th Street. You know.
What did you not do, man? And one last time.
You can see more of Alonzo's Everyday Strangers project on our website, WHRO.org/curate.
A retired art teacher from Wisconsin, Ramona Audley is as colorful and vibrant as her unusual work.
I still don't really have a good name for what I do. It's just fun. And I love every minute that I'm working on it. I'm Ramona Audley, and I am an artist. I retired, but I could not give up the art that was so much a part of my life.
Ramona does very eclectic art. She calls it 100% art for a lot of different reasons. My favorite one is it is 100% Ramona.
I stamped everything 100% art so that everybody would know it's just like 100% cotton.
She's very flamboyant. She loves colors, loves detail, animals, flora, fauna, everything.
I am always looking. I'm always looking for things that might end up in a landfill.
She'll find a piece that most people would look at and not give it a second thought. She can look beyond that and say, okay, if this was mine, what would I do with it to make it fit in my house? And in her house, bright colors, checkers, flowers, you know, anything that looks like the outdoors that now she can bring inside, that's what she likes to paint, and that's what she's the best at.
And it's some way of expressing me. I think my art is something that starts growing way down deep inside me. It's something that I have a feeling for.
She'll look at something that's broken and say, I can fix that, or I know somebody who can fix it, and I can make it look so much better than what it is now. A lot of these items are designed to be either indoor or outdoor use. We want to make sure we're finding stuff that can withstand the elements. So anything animal related is great. Anything to incorporate flowers is a big thing for her. Everything's all done by hand. She's got a couple different varieties of paints that she uses, but they're all high gloss, liquid base enamels.
So you have to use a really good quality of paint. I put on multiple coats and I look at them and maybe something comes to mind. It gives me an opportunity to use color. I loved everything that is color. I don't think that I really love things that are completely realistic, but I like the idea of putting different colors together and see what I'm doing grow.
She likes using these intense colors. The brighter the better. They look great when you first put them on, but once you put on this top coat to seal it, it just electrifies it. It looks even more intense than what it started with. The black piping that's on the outside is one of the last things that she will do. Again, one of her trademarks. Let's put down the flowers, but instead of trying to do a traditional shading on it like a normal painter would do, she's just going to give it more of that block primitive style with the outlining on each one. Just really sets off the colors.
I think you just have to do your thing.
It's pop art, but it's eclectic at the same time. I think we can kind of bridge the gap between traditionalists and people like modern art and pop art, and these items will fit the bill. You know, to look at your mother and think of her as an artist, you saw it all these years, but to then suddenly see the reaction that people have, you're like, well, you know, maybe she's got something here.
If it serves a purpose in your life, if it makes you feel better, or it's something that you really, really want to do it.
You've got some inner feelings, you've got some inner emotions. The best way to express it is going to be through artwork. And she did that all during the early years, and she still does it to this day. Now here you can have a local talent that's here in Pewaukee that suddenly can do these really interesting things. When you see this, it does make you think, it does make you smile, it does make you laugh, and it just makes you look at things a little bit differently. So if they always remember that about Ramona, I think that's a big success.
I don't ever want to get to the point where I can't keep on doing, because I like them. They are much fun to do.
Ramona's unique artwork can be found in galleries across America. She also has loyal fans overseas.
Next, we'll step outside the U.S. to meet the jokesters behind Machine de Cirque. Their inspired performances mix acrobatics with mischief and pure fun.
The show is about friendship and relations.
Here in Machine de Cirque, we find 5 men cast together in a post-apocalyptic world. They're alone and rather athletic, and even in desolation, boys will be boys.
We are 5 jokesters, so we always joke around and make stupid things and acrobatic and mess around. People get involved with us because they feel at the end they know us.
So we're actually seeing you on stage.
Yeah, definitely.
The 5 performers of the Montreal-based Machine de Cirque are also its founders. Friends for a decade now, they crafted a show they could make their own to test themselves and their limits, says performer Maxim Lauren.
A part of the definition of a circus is taking risk. You don't want to see a miss, but you know it can happen, and this is the part of the show that is so true.
Does the fear ever take over? Does it ever become crippling?
Well, never in shows, but before you always have your head sometimes working if this happens, or if I'm tired today, I don't feel good, and there's always this thinking that can be dangerous sometimes, but once you're in show you can't really think, and that's what's great also about being on stage.
Fear, it seems, is fleeting. This summer, Lauren and a Machine de Cirque colleague attempted to beat the Guinness World Record of 50 consecutive flips on the teeter board.
The most flip without doing any straight jumps in between for as long as possible.
And how many did you do?
We did 101.
And how much did you hurt afterward?
Well, we were definitely dizzy and out of breath because it lasted almost 3 minutes 30 with non-stop flipping. So It was pretty intense, but it was very fun.
The captain of fun, arguably, is the show's lone musician, Frederick Le Brasseur.
I'm alone to make the music, trying to make the right thing in the right place, and it's more play with that.
Le Brasseur is a virtual sponge, soaking up his ever-changing soundscape.
Each time I walk in the street, I look the thing and I ask in my head, what is the sound of that? Something is very beautiful. And sometimes it looks like nothing. You say, wow.
Does that come naturally to you?
I don't know. Maybe it's just with the time. If you have a car, I don't take the car. I prefer to take my voice and make. Or if you have a dolphin, it's possible to go to record the dolphin, but I prefer to do. It's a choice. Depend.
How do you do that?
My father is a dolphin.
Your father is not a dolphin. I don't know your father, but I know he's not a dolphin.
My mother. Yeah, you're right. It's my mother. Sorry.
What does a city bus sound like?
But I don't know. I just came now. But maybe I can check what is the sound of this place if you want. You want that?
Okay.
Just to.
The show is full of unexpected twists and daring do's, the most precarious involving bath towels.
Whatever you do, you can't hide the fact that this situation is very touchy, you know. So the audience feels it as well, and so it's very fun to play around. And actually, the risk is that if we drop, you see. Everybody sees you naked, and we don't like this to happen. So.
Has it ever happened?
Yes, it has happened sometimes.
You're not shy.
Actually, we are very shy, and this is what's really funny about it. Because if we wouldn't be shy, actually, it wouldn't be as fun, I think. But it's every time we do this part is very like we're laughing, but laughing very nervous, like.
Like the rest of the show, it's a testament to the group's naked ambition.
2 guys in the group joined in 2015 after that clever towel routine got millions of hits on YouTube.
And that wraps up this week's Curate. For more on any of the artists you've seen featured, visit our Curate website. And be sure to tell us what you think about the program on our Facebook page. And Jason, I want to thank you for taking time out from your busy performance routine with Plan B Comedy seen at Zyder's American Dream Theater in Virginia Beach.
Thanks, Heather. I really enjoyed it. And now it's time we hear from you. WHRO wants to showcase your videos on Curate. Do you have an artistic profile, a music video, or a short film?
If you have a project or clip that's under 4 minutes in length, email a link to curate@whro.org. We'll highlight some of them throughout the series. Help us curate the 757. Let's take a look at this week's viewer video.
Flock of birds hovering above, just a flock of birds. It's how you think of love, and look up to the sky, breathe before the dawn, 'cause they fly away. Sometimes they arrive, sometimes they are gone. They fly on.
I'm Heather Mazzoni. Thank you for joining us.
And I'm Jason Kipros. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time on Curate.